Karen's sneer could curdle milk. She waddled toward my Ducati, her floral moo-moo flapping like a warning flag, convinced she'd caught me in some grand violation. The neighborhood's self-appointed sheriff, Karen was the kind of person who'd report a kid's lemonade stand for lacking a permit. Today, her target was my pride and joy, a gleaming red Ducati Panigale V4, parked legally on the street outside my house. She didn't know it was street legal. She didn't know she'd end up in handcuffs by sundown. I'd just finished polishing the bike, its curves reflecting the late afternoon sun, when Karen's voice sliced through the quiet. "This eyesore's gotta go," she bellowed, waving her phone like a gavel. She was already on the line with a tow company, her chins wobbling with righteous fury. The homeowners association had made her their enforcer, and she relished every second of it. To her, my motorcycle was a blight on her perfect cul-de-sac, a symbol of rebellion against her iron-fisted rules. I stepped out from my garage, wiping my hands on a rag. "Karen, it's street legal. Registered, insured, and parked within the lines. You got no grounds." My voice was calm, but inside, I was seething. I'd dealt with her nonsense before: complaints about my lawn being half an inch too long, or the time she tried to fine me for excessive mailbox shine. But this was war. She scoffed, her eyes narrowing to slits. "Street legal? Don't lie to me, boy. This is a racing bike, and I know the rules better than you." She jabbed a sausage-like finger at the Ducati. "I'm having it towed, and you'll pay the fine for illegal parking." The tow truck was already rumbling down the street, its driver looking as thrilled to be there as a cat in a bathtub. The neighbors started to gather, drawn by the commotion. Old Mrs. Delaney, who'd lived here since the Nixon era, leaned on her cane, muttering about Karen's tyranny. Jake, the kid who ran the local auto shop, crossed his arms, smirking. He knew my bike was legit, helped me tune it last month. Karen, oblivious to the growing crowd, kept ranting. "This neighborhood's going to hell because of people like you." She spat, her voice dripping with disdain. No respect for order. I tried reasoning. "Karen, check the plates. Call the DMV if you want. It's all above board." But she wasn't listening. She never did. To her, I was just some punk with a loud bike, not a software engineer who'd saved for years to buy my dream ride. She saw what she wanted to see: a threat to her control. The tow truck driver, a burly guy named Tony, climbed out, scratching his head. "Ma'am, I need proof of a violation before I hook it up," he said, eyeing the Ducati's pristine plates. Karen's face turned beet red. "Proof? It's right there, taking up space. Do your job." Tony hesitated, glancing at me. I could tell he'd dealt with Karens before. "Look, lady, if it's legal, I'm not touching it. I don't get paid to break the law." Karen's meltdown was a sight to behold. She stomped her foot, sending ripples through her muumuu. "I'm the HOA president. I make the rules here," she shrieked. Mrs. Delaney snorted loud enough to make Jake laugh. I pulled out my phone, already recording. "Karen, you're harassing me over a legal vehicle. You sure you want to keep going?" Her eyes flicked to the phone, and for a split second, I saw doubt. But her ego was too big to back down. She ripped a citation form from her clipboard and slapped it on my bike's handlebars. "You'll regret this," she hissed, then spun to Tony. "Tow it now, or I'll have your job." That was her mistake. Tony, clearly done with her, radioed his boss to confirm the bike's status. Within minutes, he got the green light to stand down. The Ducati was clean. Karen's face twisted like she'd swallowed a lemon. Then came the sirens. Someone, probably Jake, had called the cops. Officer Ramirez, a no-nonsense woman with a reputation for shutting down petty disputes, pulled up. Karen, thinking she'd won, rushed over, spinning a tale of my illegal bike and disrespectful attitude. Ramirez listened, her face unreadable, then turned to me. "Mind if I check your registration?" I handed it over, along with my insurance docs. She nodded, satisfied, and turned back to Karen. "Ma'am, this vehicle is street legal. You've got no authority to tow it, and your citation's invalid." Karen's jaw dropped. But I'm the HOA president," she stammered. Ramirez raised an eyebrow. "Doesn't make you the law. And from what I hear, you've been harassing this man for weeks." "That's a problem," the crowd murmured. Mrs. Delaney piped up. She tried to find me for planting tulips. Said they were too bright. Jake chimed in. She threatened to tow my work van for looking commercial. Karen's empire was crumbling, and she knew it. She tried to backpedal, claiming it was all a misunderstanding, but Ramirez wasn't having it. You've been making false complaints and intimidating neighbors. That's harassment. I'm taking you in for questioning. Karen's shriek echoed through the cul-de-sac as Ramirez cuffed her. The tow truck driver shook his head, climbing back into his rig. Told you, lady, he muttered. The neighbors clapped as Karen was led to the patrol car, her muumuu catching on the door as she tried to argue her way out. You can't do this. I know the mayor, she wailed, but no one cared. The Ducati gleamed in the fading light, untouched. Later, at the HOA meeting, the truth came out. Karen had been skimming dues for years, using her power to bully anyone who questioned her. The tow truck stunt was just the tip of the iceberg. She was removed as president, fined for her schemes, and banned from holding any HOA position again. The neighborhood threw a block party to celebrate, and I rode my Ducati right through it, the engine's roar drowning out the last of Karen's legacy. Justice isn't always loud, but it's sweet when it hits. Karen thought she could control everyone, but she didn't count on the truther, a street-legal Ducati fighting back. Her arrogance was her undoing, a reminder that power built on bullying never lasts. The neighborhood was free, and my bike? Still parked proudly outside my house, shining brighter than ever. The end.